Welcome to class, everyone. If you are absent, I hope all is well and that you'll be able to join us soon. And you can navigate the lessons through Canvas with this video and some of the resources. I'm going to skip to slide number 3. This week in a non-COVID world would have been parent-teacher conference on Wednesday, but this year, because of COVID restrictions, we are doing them via Zoom and after school rather than on Wednesdays, so that we're not interrupting or taking away another day from you. So if you are interested in that, I will, because I'm part-time, I will just be doing two-hour sessions this Tuesday and this Thursday. And this is the Zoom link. If you want to touch base with me tomorrow or Thursday, you can do so. If your parents want to sign up, I sent them and you a follow-up email through Canvas that says they have to sign up for a time in Skyward. So make sure that you do that as well, so that I'm not talking with someone else when you want to talk to me. This slide also goes over some different assignments that are due this week. So we had a bunch of assignments due that you'll be getting back after tomorrow from the first couple of weeks, and then a bunch more are coming in this week. And so I just want to go over them, what they are. So today, remember, you were to respond to 6 questions from one of the slides in Canvas from last lesson by picking 2 open letters in your packet and answering those questions. And on Wednesday, your first of, remember, this unit is dealing with communicating with others. So there are different types of letters that you are writing. We're beginning the letter to self. Remember, it deals with music choices and songs that you like. And from last lesson, I said that you need to pick 6 songs, set yours up like I did in my sample, and have that done. That will go down as a test score. So make sure that you have 6 of the songs done. We will add to it throughout the semester. Also on Wednesday, you all need to print and bring a memo to me that identifies what your semester topic will be. Remember, in the first paragraph, you tell me what your topic is and why you're interested in it. In the second paragraph, what you already know and what you hope to learn throughout the semester about your topic. And in the third paragraph, a short paragraph that asks me specifically whether or not the topic works. So have your memo done. Follow the instructions for writing a memo from last lesson. Also, in our assignment today, I gave everyone a handout to fill in some background notes for 4 sources. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes when we get to that slide. And then a short plan for what your open letter is going to be about. So today I want to talk about the term rhetorical situation for open letters specifically. Remember, rhetorical situation deals with the dynamics of the writer, the audience, the message, and the purpose, as well as some context information that tied to your topic. So we're just going to briefly review what they are and what we did in class. So the first one with the writer, remember, if you are writing an open letter, you're trying to move people to think differently or get something done. When you do that, however, you need to remember that you don't want to sound preachy or sanctimonious or that you are angry as far as your tone's concerned. Remember, with open letters, if you post anything online, it does become public domain, and there are consequences to writing about opinions. So be mindful of that. I showed you an example on this third bullet of a teacher. Sorry about that. That moved. A teacher who went off on her students in a Facebook post, and it cost her her job because her Facebook post was considered public domain by the district. As you are a writer of an open letter, remember what appeals you can use to your audience, and you want it to integrate all 3 ethos, pathos, and logos appeals into your audience, or sorry, into your open letter. Make sure that you are not writing an open letter when you are angry, and know the consequences of standing behind your words. So with that in mind, the students in class picked one of these 3 open letters from their packet, and they read them, and then we had a discussion on what made each of these individuals credible for their topic from their open letter. So if you will pick one on your own and think about that idea, most likely you will come to the conclusion that they have experience with the topic. As far as the audience of an open letter, there are 2 ways to think of an open letter audience. One can be a specific audience, like the sample in your packet that the man wrote to the Kansas State Board of Education. But beyond that, you can have a much broader audience. So even though in that letter he was writing to them, he really was talking about any kind of educational leadership group and thinking about the idea of what we teach in school. And in this case, he was dealing with science education. So we have a specific audience, and we can also have a general, more broad, or we should have a broader audience, even though we might be writing to someone specifically. So with this in mind, we looked at an actual open letter that was published in Harper's Magazine this past summer. If you click on this link, it will take you to an article that a whole bunch of writers and journalists signed. And the article deals with consequences of cancel culture. And so while many of these writers are liberal in their viewpoints, they recognize the concern of canceling ideas and how it limits free thought and speech. And so they published that on the 7th, and then instantly they started getting all this feedback, support, backlash from different organizations. I included 3 types of feedback that were published. The first one's from the New York Times. The writer in this one, it was an opinion piece, but seemed to be more open-minded to both sides of the issue of their open letter. CNN put a thumbs down to it. And Fox News, we watched a short video. This guy commended their idea of the dangers of cancel culture. So what I want the students to do from this exercise is think about who were the writers who were doing the follow-up responses writing to. Was it to just those people who wrote the open letter? And the answer is no. It is they were catering to the readers or the viewers of their particular media platform. With this one, what do we put inside of an open letter? You know, if you think back to the 5-paragraph essay, we have an introduction, a conclusion, body paragraphs. Well, an open letter isn't like that, but you can think of an open letter as you have to cover these 3 things, and I put them in italics on this page. Analyze the situation, summarize your experience with it, and respond to what you think the reader should do. So you can take any of the sample of open letters and see how that works well. The one that we looked at on the previous slide, the one that a bunch of the writers put in the Harper's Magazine, is a great way to see how they move from analyzing the situation, summarizing their experience with it, and responding what needs to happen. So it's not necessarily 5 paragraphs. It moves more in those 3 orders, and each one of those orders can be 1 or more paragraphs within an open letter. The last thing to think about is perspective, or the idea of the occasion, what's going on with an open letter. And remember that it's just not our viewpoint. There are many stakeholders that are involved in open letters, so we have to see things through others' eyes, not just our own. So with that in mind, remember, because you have not selected your theme just yet, I'm giving you the topic for your first practice open letter, even though it will be graded like a test score, and I want you to do really well on it. I want you to get experience writing them. And so this one will be about education, and education specifically during a pandemic with online education and choices that have been thrown at you in the last year, and how you feel it has affected you in some different way. So like for this slide, it's important that you not just think about you, but administrators' decisions, where are they coming from? For example, our principal, Mr. Kornberg, doesn't just make a decision. He's probably told in this kind of a setting, this is what he has to do. So you need to keep that in mind when you craft your open letter dealing with some aspect of the pandemic in your own education. That even though it's going to be going to the administration, keep in mind that they are just in like the middleman passing information on and learning and adapting like we all have been in the past year. So to write that, your open letter on some aspect of how you have been affected by this pandemic as far as education is concerned, I want you to think about that in a broad term, but then narrow it down into some specific angle. For example, if you're on a sports team, what has it done to you as far as your team and the productivity as a student? What if you're thinking about that angle, adapting to all these different ways that teachers have facilitated learning and how maybe that's been difficult. If you are in some sort of a club that's to help you, like a debate club that's to help you with future careers like law or something like that, how have you been impacted by the ways our learning has changed this year? And to help you, to give you some professional insights that you could weave into your open letter, I'm going to have everyone find 3 EBSCO sources and 1 TED Talk source to weave some factual content into your open letter. So it's just not, you're just not shooting from the hip. And so on the next slide, so this is your assignment that's due for next time. So look at it more closely. But this, if you remember to access EBSCO, you go to uen.org. At the bottom of the home UEN page, you will find Utah Online Learning icon. Click on it. You will need the word online and resource as your username and password to access EBSCO at home. Look for, remember in 1010 we talked about tier 3 and 4 resources, those that are written by experts or governmental leaders rather than by people like you and me who just have opinions on topics. You're going to find some articles, and then we use the resource that I have in your Canvas, the background to your sources. It's like a graphic organizer with some boxes. So copy down something from each source that might help you write your rough draft on your open letter on Wednesday in class. And then you need to find one other source, and that is a media source. You can use a TED Talk. You can go to like in class today, I used NBC News. And when I went in there, I typed in online learning during a pandemic. And I think I had like thousands of different videos that they have done since this has started. So any kind of news agency, you can find some sort of a video source. Those are more of tier 2 type resources because you get really good writers or journalists writing about them, not experts in the field. But they sometimes cover enough information that will help you as you write yours. So gather some information from them, complete that chart, and be ready to write your open letter rough draft on Wednesday. And that's all I have. And hopefully this helps you with your lesson today. Thank you.